Need to go to the toilets unless you meet
known for obvious reasons as the empty quarter. Now, the experts told him that he wouldn't survive, and in this extract from the film that he made, he didn't sound too sure himself.
I'm 25 kilometers from water. My body's finished. Mine isn't finished. I will not die. I will not die.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Edwards. Now, you were on your own for the main part of the journey. Let's just tell people how the journey went. You took some BBC cameras with you for the first part of the journey.
That's right.
And if we were to look at a map, we would see that the journey began at a place there called Timbuktu.
Right.
And you travel with the film crew up to where? Arawan?
Arawan, yes.
And then they leave you.
Right.
And you're on your own in the middle of this thing called the empty quarter. And then you eventually end up at Ulata.
That's right.
Now, did you have difficulty getting the camels?
Well, no, it took us all morning to find the camels, actually. I found one, which I called Pegasus,
Yeah.
because I found her near the airport.
Yeah.
That's Peggy, yes.
Yeah.
I called her Peggy for short. But that's me on the right.
With the bigger nose. That's, and then the other one was called what?
The other one was called the Traditionalist, or Trad for short.
And they went with you for the whole journey.
That's right.
Now, you're a school teacher in Eccles, up there in Lancashire, and you're a folk singer at night. Why in God's name did you fling yourself into the middle of this savage part of the world?
I like deserts. I don't know why I like deserts. Sometimes I watch on television some people kicking a ball through two posts on a field. I can't understand why they want to do this.
But you like being in the desert?
I like being in the desert. They do it because they like it. I do the desert because I like it.
It's a strange obsession, though, you will admit,
Yep.
isn't it? Now then, we saw you in the bit of film there, practically expiring. How really near to death were you?
Oh, pretty close.
What sort of manifestations of death did you have? What
I was
intimations?
I was losing my mind. My mind was going. The bit that you heard on the tape there was me programming my mind to continue when my mind went, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was hallucinating at the time.
What did you see?
Well, I was heading for an escarpment,
Yeah.
and I saw this in my mind's eye as the seashore. There was a cliff on the seashore, and I could actually smell the sea. I could hear seagulls, and I did, in fact, see a garage.
A garage?
A garage. All painted white, with stones all around the front. I got off one of the camels, went down, had a look, nobody was home, got back in the camel, away.
What did you do for, well, nobody there, of course not. What did you do for water? Because you presumably were parched and burned
I
dry.
was out of water altogether then. I went for about 3 days on...
Sorry, just a minute. Were you out of water because you hadn't taken the right amount of water, because you had accidents?
No, I had a couple of accidents. One about the 3rd day out, when one of the jerry cans fell over. I lost about 1.5 gallons. And one later on, when Peggy trod on one of the jerry cans, and I lost about another 1.5 gallons. As a result of this, I ran out of water and was without water virtually for 3 days.
And you had pills and things, didn't you, that you took that were no use?
I sucked vitamin C tablets. This usually brought spittle on, but I was so dehydrated that I couldn't make spittle. My tongue was just like a wooden peg in my mouth at this time.
What preparations did you make for this journey then? Did you practice at all?
Oh, it took me 4 years. It took 4 years, 4 trips to Africa. I went down to Timbuktu previously in 1980, to North Africa, one trip.
And you talked to important people like Wilfrid Thesiger,
Yes.
who gave you good advice or bad advice?
Oh, good advice.
What about this thing you were told about how to make water? Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. How to trap water in the desert.
The solar still, yes.
Yeah. Well, now what is a solar still?
Well, a solar still is basically you dig a hole in the sand, about a metre deep, something like that. Put a cup in the middle, plastic sheet over the top, weighted down at the edges, a stone in the middle. And the idea is that the sun beats down on the plastic, heats up the air underneath, evaporates any moisture underneath, hits the plastic, condenses and runs down into the cup.
And you tried that, did you?
Yes, they don't work.
How often did you try it?
I went down to Timbuktu to try these.
Right.
I tried it over a 24-hour period, never had a drop out of it. I've tried it all over the Sahara. Every single time I've tried it, not a drop. So I wouldn't recommend it.
Now then, Ted, no, quite clearly not. Now then, your body was in obvious danger and your mind was in danger, but were you in danger from things attacking you or biting you or eating you or strangling you?
Well, I got stung by a scorpion about 3 or 4 days out. Those aren't particularly dangerous and extremely painful. It's just like having a pan of boiling fat poured over my leg, and a couple of hours later I had pains around my heart. But I was expecting this because I'd done my homework on it.
And did you have medication to help with that?
I took painkillers, they probably helped.
Now then, when you got to the end of the journey, how were you found, or did you find them, or did they find you at the end?
Oh, I found them. It wasn't actually the end of the journey. On day 17, I came across some tracks of nomads. I tracked them down, found them around about lunchtime, and well, they had no water with them virtually, so they sent away for water. Came back towards the latter part of the day, and they gave me camel's milk to keep me alive until that arrived.
I bet you were glad to see them.
Oh, pretty glad, yeah.
Your equipment had packed up by this time, the sound recorder, the tape recorder had gone.
Everything had packed in there, everything was full.
But you wouldn't have any energy left to make a film with it that time, presumably, would you? Or would you not want to?
I'd stopped filming a couple of days previous to that.
Did you pray at all?
No.
Did you not seek any guidance from a force or power outside? What do the neighbours reckon to you in Eccles?
I think I'm an idiot.
Will you go again?
I'll certainly go to the desert again. I love the desert.
Are there any other things you want to go to? Like, I mean, are there any parts of the world that you want to test your body against?
Oh, various parts of the world. And this summer I'd like to go and have a look at Iceland, across Iceland. It's more or less a holiday than really that. Yeah.
Well, look, listen,
300
take all
miles.
the necessary precautions. And you can take that with you as a present from us as well. It's the one thing you would have needed. Thank you for joining us tonight, Ted Edwards.